Hello everyone, I welcome you all to today's session wherein we are going to discuss the XAT 2025 QA and DI section together. In this particular part, we are going to take up the QA, right, which will be followed by the DI as well. Let's get started. Ninth one. Consider the quadratic function f of x equal to ax square plus bx plus a having two irrational roots. So, two irrational roots would mean what? The discriminant that we have, b square minus 4ac, is not a perfect square, with a and b being two positive integers such that a and b are less than or equal to 9. If all such permissible pairs a comma b are equally likely, what is the probability that a plus b is going to be greater than 9? Now, so for that quadratic function, what is the discriminant? It's going to be b square minus 4ac, 4 into a is 4a square. So, this should not be a perfect square, should not be a perfect square, because if it becomes a perfect square, then the roots will not be irrational. So, b square minus 4a square. So, let's start taking some values for a and b. So, for b and a. So, if you take b maximum can be 9, let's start from there. So, b is 9. So, b is 9, 9 square is 81. 81 minus 4a square, where a is a positive integer less than or equal to 9, should not be a perfect square. Let's see what values can a take. If I put a equal to 1, 81 minus 4 is 77. It's not a perfect square. We can take it. If I put a equal to 2, 4 into 2 square, 16. 81 minus 16 is what? 75, 65. It's not a perfect square. We can take that. A equal to 3. 4 into 3 square, 9, 49, 36. 81 minus 36 will be what? 45, not a perfect square. We can take that. 4. 81 minus 4 cube is 64. 81 minus 64 is 17. It's not a perfect square. It's not a perfect square. We can take it. But if you take 5, 4 into 5 square, 4 into 25 is 100. 81 minus 100, it will become negative. The discriminant is becoming negative. That means the roots won't be real at all. Forget irrational. So, hence we cannot take 5 onwards. So, for b equal to 9, we have 4 different possible values for a. For b equal to 8, 8 square is 64. 64 minus, if I take a as 1, it's possible, allowed. So, 64 minus 4 will make it what? 60, not a perfect square. 2, 4 into 2 square, 16. 64 minus 16 is 48, not a perfect square, allowed. We can take 2 also. What about 3? 64 minus 36, 49, 36. Is what? 28, yes, allowed, not a perfect square. 64 minus a cannot be 4 now, please note why, because if you take 4, you get discriminant as 0, but 0 would mean equal roots, and the roots will not be irrational anymore, so we cannot take 4. So, only 1, 2 and 3. If b is 7, if b is 7, 7 square 49 minus a equal to 1 is allowed, 49 minus 4 is 45, that's okay. A equal to 2, 49 minus 16, 33, that is also allowed. 3, 49 minus 36, 13, that is also allowed. So, we have 3 values. 6, 6 is square, 36, 36 minus a can be 1, no problem. A can be 2 also, because if you take a equal to 2, 36 minus 16 is 20, not a perfect square, we can take it. 3, can we take it? 4 into 3 square, 9, 36, 36 minus 36 is 0, we cannot take that, because we will not get irrational roots. 5, a can be 1, 5 square, 25 minus 4 is 21, allowed. A equal to 25 minus 16, 9, not allowed. We cannot take 2, because you will get 16, which is a perfect square. You will not get irrational roots. 4, 16 minus 4, that's allowed. 16 minus 16, not allowed. 0, it would become 0, not allowed. 3 square, 9 minus a can be 1, of course 2 is not possible. 2 square minus a cannot be 1 also. 2 square is 4, minus 4 will give you 0, not allowed, so no value. So, overall how many values can a and b take if you just count them? So, total values are 4 here, 3 values here, 3 here, 2 here, 1, 1, 1. add them all, 5, 8, 11 and 15 values. So 15 values are possible for A comma B. Now out of those 15 values which are all equally likely, what is the probability that A plus B is greater than 9? So that means my required probability will be, total cases is 15. 15 values that A comma B can take. Now out of this 15, in how many cases is A plus B greater than 9? Observe. So one case, 9 plus 1 is 10. Second case, third case, fourth case. 8 and 2. 8 and 1 I cannot take because 8 and 1 is 9. I want more than 9, greater than 9. 8 and 3, yes. 7 and 3. That's it. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So my answer will be 7 upon 15. So 7 by 15 would be the fourth option choice. That's going to be the correct answer. I hope we are clear with this. Moving on. Question number 10. 8 employees of an organization have been rated on a scale of 1 to 50 for their performance. 1 to 50, okay. The rating is from 1 to 50. All ratings are integers. The overall average rating of the 8 employees is 30. So let's call the 8 employees as E1, E2, E3. In fact, the ratings are these, E4, E5, E6, E7 and E8, such that they are all in decreasing order. So sum of all these values, E1 plus E2 plus E8. We know the average of 8 members, 8 employees as 30. So sum is going to be 13 to 8, which is 240. The overall, while the 5 employees with the highest ratings, E1 to E5, average 38. So 38 into 5, because we are talking about 5 employees, it's going to be 190. The 5 employees with the lowest rating, lowest will be E4 to E8. Average is 25, so 25 into 5 is 125. Third equation. Which of the following about the ratings obtained by the 8 employees is definitely false? So, to check which of the 5 options is definitely wrong, not possible. So, before we go for the options, let's do some more calculations. If you add these two, observe what you get. You will get E1, E2, E3, E4, E5, E6, E7, E8, and then you are getting E4 and E5 again. So, 2 plus 3 will give you E1 to E8, there is sum, plus E4 plus E5, 2 times, E4 twice, E5 twice. So, this is 315, when you add them 190 and 125. E1 to 8 is how much? 240, substitute that. So, that means E4 plus E5 is 315 minus 240, 75. This is our fourth condition. So, that means the fourth highest rating and the fifth highest rating, the sum should be equal to 75. This is what we get to know. Now, based on these conditions, let's go by the go to the options one after the other. The second highest rating obtained is 38. So, second, is it false? We have to check. That means we have to just check, is this possible? If this is possible, this is not my answer, because I want an option which is definitely wrong, impossible. Is this possible or not? Let's check. Second highest is 38. That means E2 is 38. Can E2 be 38? Let's try to do some hit and trial here. Yeah, let's use the same ink. So, for E2 to be 38, I'll go for the second equation. E4 plus E5 I know is 75. Substitute that. So, E1 plus E2 plus E3 will be what? 190 minus 75, which is 115. I want this to be 38. Let's see if it's possible. So, if I place this as 38, okay, suppose this is some 37, okay. No, but one thing, is this 37 possible? No, it's not possible, because if you place E4 as 37, E5 can at best be 37. That's not possible. Let's place this also as 38. Let's see if this is We cannot place 37 here. We have to place 38. Let's place 38. So 38 and 38 is 76. 76 and E1 can be 39. So 39, 38, 38, 38, 37 and the rest can be decided accordingly. E6, E7, E8 can be decided accordingly, because please note, if E4 plus E5 is 75, these three together should be 50. So I can give values like 20, 10 and something, 20, 20 and 10, something like that. We can give 50. So that's possible. If this is possible, this is not my answer. So second highest rating can be 38. I'm not able to get a case, I'm not able to disprove it, like I'm not able to say that no, this is not possible at all. This is possible, very much possible, hence not my answer. Second option, let me clean this. The median of the 8 ratings is 37.5. What do you mean by median here? So there are 8 values, so median will be 4th plus 5th by 2. 4th plus 5th by 2 we know is 37.5. 75 by 2, 37.5, that's absolutely correct, not my answer. I want false. The third lowest rating is 37. So this is 37, he says. Is it possible? Let's check. So E4, suppose I give 38. E5 I give 37. Their sum should be 75. If I give this as 38, we already saw in the previous case, E3 can be 38. In first option we check this, 38. E1 will be 39. Now, I want the third lowest rating, that is E6, to be 37. Let's see if it's possible. Here, if this is 75, these three together should be 50, he said. So if E6 is 37, I can give E7 as some 10, E8 as some 3. Or I could also do 12 here and 1 here. There is no restriction, I can give any value from 1 to 50, integer value. So yes, the third lowest can be 37, that is also not possible. Fourth option, the lowest rating obtained is 1. Yes, that is also possible, not my answer. So first 4 options are wrong, and hence can I say remaining option must be my answer. Let's try to quickly see why is that not possible. So what's the fifth option? The fifth option is the highest rating obtained is 40. So E1 is 40. Okay, let's see. So if E1 is 40, so we know E4 plus E5 is 75. So we could probably give values like 38 and 37 for E4 and E5. But we already seen some time back, if you put this as 38, E3 must be 38, E2 must be 38, then E1 can be 39, right? Something like this. But let's see, I say this, I want to see if this can be 40 according to the fifth option. Now for trying to make this 40, we need to reduce this, right? Because see, overall, if you want 40 here, we need to take that 40 from somewhere, from some value. So what's the best value we could take it from? We could probably take it from here, 36, let's try to make it 36. But if this is 36, this will become 39. This will become 39, and if this is 39, this will be at least 39, at least 39. And then what is left now? So these three together, I think it was 115 we said, these three. So 78, so this will be 37. Not really possible, right? Because if E2 is 39, E1, which is a higher value, cannot be 37. So hence there is no way in which I can have E1, the top ranker, the highest rated employee, as 40. That's not really possible. Hence our answer. I hope we are clear with this question. Let me just clean this. Now question number 11. It says in a computer game, each move requires pressing a button. When the button is pressed for the first time as a move, the computer randomly chooses a cell from a 4x4 grid. So let me just draw a 4x4 grid here. Of 16 cells and puts an X mark on that cell. So at random it can place that X anywhere. When the button is pressed subsequently, the computer randomly chooses a cell from the remaining unmarked cells and puts an X mark on that cell. This goes on till the end of the game. The game ends when either all the cells in any one row, this row or this row or this row, or all the cells in any one column, 4 columns, are marked with X. So that means the game ends when we are placing 4 X's either horizontally or 4 X's vertically. The moment we do that, the game ends. What is the maximum possible number of times a player has to press the button to finish the game? Now, before we go for maximum, let's think about the minimum also. What could be the minimum number of times he could press? So let's say the first time he presses, he gets an X here. Second time, he gets an X here. Suppose. Third time, fourth time, he gets it here and the game ends. So that means minimum 4 turns, 4 moves will be required. Minimum 4 will be required to end the game. The question is asking us maximum. So what I'll try to do is, I'll try to avoid filling up the 4 cells in a row or in a column. I'll try to avoid that as much as possible. So let's start. So the first X, first move comes here, suppose. Second X, third X, third move. Fourth, I'll not place it here. I would rather place it somewhere else, maybe here. Fourth move, still the game has not ended. Fifth move, sixth move. See, the problem is the moment I place an X here or here, my game ends. I don't want to do that. Next, seventh move, eighth move, ninth move. The moment I place it here, my game ends, so I will not do that. Ninth move, I can go till 9 moves this way. Then I cannot place it here because this column will be filled. 10th move, 11th move, 12th move. So that means I can make 12 moves, ensuring that the game doesn't end this way. But now please think, the moment I'll place the 13th move, X will either come here, the row is filled or the column is filled, the game ends. X will either come here, the row is filled or the column is filled, again game ends. X will either come here or X will come here, the game will end in all the cases. So that means after this 12 move, I can make only 1 more move and the game ends. The question was, what is the maximum possible number of times a player has to press the button to finish the game? So 12 by ensuring that the game doesn't end, and 1 more. So thus 13. Fourth option choice must be the correct answer. I hope we are clear in the manner in which we have placed the X's in the cells. Now let's look at question number 12. There are 5 dustbins along a circular path at different places. Ramesh takes multiple rounds of the path every morning, always at the same speed. He noticed that it took him a different number of steps to walk between any 2 consecutive dustbins. So circular track. So there are some randomly placed 5 dustbins, let's say something like this. He noticed that it took him different number of steps to walk between any 2 consecutive dustbins. So for example, suppose here he took 100 steps, here he would take 110, here he would take 90, here would take 200. So that way they are all different, he says. Ramesh also noticed that starting from any of the dustbins, so either first or second or third or fourth or any of the dustbins, it took a minimum of 800 steps to reach every second dustbin. So for example, suppose I am starting from here. So from here, second dustbin is going to be first dustbin, second dustbin. So from here to reach till here, I will take at least, it's going to be minimum 800 steps. On the other hand, starting from any of the dustbins, suppose this, it took a maximum of 1260 to reach every third dustbin. First dustbin, second dustbin, third dustbin. So I am writing it for this, but it's true for any other dustbins also. That means the gap between this and this, the third dustbin from here, first, second, third, is going to be maximum 1260 would mean less than or equal to 1260 steps. So similarly, from here, the first, second, third, from here to here, this should be maximum 1260. From any dustbin, every third dustbin was maximum 1260 steps away. If Ramesh, one step is 0.77 meters and the width of the path is negligible, which of the following can be the radius of the circular path? Now here he says that these dustbins are placed at different distances. So for example, the gap between these two is not same as this, is not same as this. They are all different, he says. He noticed that it took him different number of steps to walk between any two consecutive dustbins. For the sake of discussion, let us try to put them really close, equal. So the gap between these two is almost same as this, almost same as this, almost as this, almost as this. And suppose the gap is some A. Suppose the gap here is some A. So if this is A, this is approximately A, and A. So if that is the case, can I say the gap between here to here 2A must be greater than or equal to 800? That means A must be greater than or equal to 400. Similarly, can I say 3A must be less than or equal to 1260? So that means A must be less than or equal to 420. So that means the gap between any two consecutive, if I take them really close, any two consecutive dustbins should be between 400 to 420. So if I suppose take, so that means I cannot go beyond 420 is what I mean here. For example, if you take A to be 425, then this condition will be violated. Sorry, if I take A to be 425, then this condition will be violated because it will become 1275. Right? And similarly, I cannot take less than 400 because if I take less than 400, then this condition greater than or equal to 800 will be violated. Alright. So the range of values for A is between 400 to 420. So based on these, what can be the total perimeter of the circle? The perimeter can be, if I take A to be 400, the minimum possible, 400 into 5. If I take 420, 420 into 5, so 2000 to 2100 steps. So 2000 steps to 2100 steps would be the range for the perimeter. But since we want to give our answer in meters, let's convert the steps into meters. It's given that one step was 0.77 meter. So thus can I say perimeter can be written as, will be between 2000 into 0.77 to 2100 into 0.77. So when I simplify, 20 into 77 will be what? 1540 meters to this will be what? 21 into 77 will be 77 into 20 is 1540, 1617. This should be the possible values for the perimeter from 1540 to 1617 meters. Now he is asking us which of the following can be the radius of the circular path. So let's do one thing. Let's put in those values approximately and find the perimeter that we get. So for example, if I go for an option like 240, if I go for 240, observe, so 2 pi r into 240. What is the approximate value? Let's try to observe. So 2 into 3.14, pi is 3.14 approximately, 6.28 into 240 would mean 62.8 into 24. Let's see if we get in this range. So 24 into 8 will be 192. 2 is in decimals, right? 19 carry. 24 into 2 is 48 and 19 will be what? 67, 6 carry. 24 into 6 is 144 and 6, 1507. So I am getting less than this, right? So I should get the perimeter in this range. I am getting less than that, and hence I go back and say 240 is not really possible. If 240 is not possible, clearly 220 and 230 is also not possible because they are even lower. Let's try to check for C, 250. So if you go for 250, so 2 into 3.14 into 250 will be how much if I write directly? 62.8 into 25. So 25 into 8 is 200, 20 carry. 25 into 2 is 50, 20, 70. 7 carry. 25 into 6 is 150 and 7, 127. So 1570 is what we get. 1570. Is it in this range? Perfect. It's falling in this range. So this is very much possible. I'll hold it. Let's observe 26, 260 also. So 62.8 into 26 is what we get. Okay. Now 62.8 into 25 you already done. I just need to add 62.8 to it, right? So when you add 62.8 to it, you will get what? 1632.8, which is going beyond this. So thus I go back and say 260 is also not possible, and hence 250. So which of the following can be the radius of the given options? Only the option choice C can be the radius of the circular path. So this is how we could solve it. I hope we are clear with this idea here of making them all equal so that I could have the minimum value for the distance and maximum value for the distance between any two dustbins. Alright, let me just clean this and move on to next question. Let's move on to next question. A solid trophy consisting of two parts has been designed in the following manner. The bottom part is a frustum of a cone with the bottom radius 30 centimeter, the top radius 20 centimeter. The top is 20 centimeter, bottom is 30 centimeter, and the height of 40. While the top part is a hemisphere with a radius of 20 centimeter, moreover, the flat surface of the hemisphere is the same as the top surface of the frustum. So hemisphere is placed like this on top of it. Radius is 20 for hemisphere as well. If the entire trophy is to be gold plated at a cost of 40 rupees per square centimeter, what would be the cost for gold plating? What would the cost for gold plating be closest to of the given options? So for finding out the cost for gold plating, we need to find out what's the total surface area first. So we know that for hemisphere, the surface area is 2 pi r square. R is 20. Also note, for the frustum that we have a bottom surface also, circular surface, that is to be gold plated, and its area will be nothing but area of the circle with radius 30 centimeter, which is going to be what? So pi r square. And now besides that, we need the lateral surface area for this frustum, and there is a formula that we have for lateral surface area. The lateral surface area is given as half into perimeter of the base plus perimeter of the top into slant height. Here we don't know what the slant height is, we know only the vertical top, the perpendicular height. So let's try to find that slant height. So for finding the slant height, can I say I'll do some construction here. If I'll drop a perpendicular, this is 40, this is 30, this is 20, so this is going to be 10 naturally. And now can I say by applying Pythagoras theorem, slant height will be nothing but square root of 40 square plus 10 square. Apply Pythagoras, you will get that as root 1700. And now applying that formula, can I say total surface area for the overall trophy will be 2 pi into 20 square, which is 400 into 2, 800 pi, 900 pi plus, let's use that formula, half into perimeter of the base. So it's going to be 2 pi r. So 2 pi into 30 is 60 pi, 2 pi r 40 pi, 60 and 40 is 100 pi into slant height, which is root 1700, which is 10 root 17. So 2 will cancel out 5 times. So when you simplify, this is 1700 pi, and this is going to be what? 500 pi or 500 root 17 pi. So if I take this is the total surface area, and if I want the cost is 40 per square centimeter. So these many square centimeters multiplied by 40. So my answer 40, I can take out 100 pi outside. So 100 pi, if I take it outside, I will be left with what? 17 plus 5 root 17. Correct? Now root 17 is almost 4 point something, alright. If you take 4.1 approximately, so it's going to be 4.1 into 5, it's going to be what? 20.5. So 20.5 and 17 is 37.5. So 40 into 100. Pi is 22 by 7 into 17 and 20 point, what did I say? 4.1 approximately, approximate value into 5 is 20.5, 37.5. Now when you multiply this, you will finally be getting a value which is very, very close to 472,880. 4,72,000 and 880 is what you will get here, right? Close to this. And of the given options, so my answer should be very close to this. Of the given options, option choice A makes the perfect sense. That's the closest. So this is how we could solve this question. And again, if we know that formula for the lateral surface area of frustum, we could solve it easily. Not easily, take some time, but still we could do it. And one more thing here, one more problem or a calculation error that can happen from the student's end is students might miss out on the bottom flat surface. That might give you a slightly lower answer. So probably 360 or 372. All right. Okay, let's clean this. 14th one. It says a straight line L1 has equation y equal to k into x minus 1, where k is some real number. This straight line L1 intersects another straight line L2 at a point 5, 8. So that means this L1 passes through 5, 8. Substitute that and check. So y is 8, k into x is 5, 5 minus 1 is 4. So when you solve this, you will get k as 2. So k is 2. So that means my first equation becomes 2x minus 2. So that means 2x minus y is equal to 2. This is your line L1. Now what about L2 is known? We know only one thing, that it passes through 5, 8. Further it says L2 has a slope of 1. Now at this moment we know slope of L2. We know a point through which L2 passes. Hence can I say equation of L2 will be, I am using the point slope form, y minus y1, this is x1, y1 equal to m into, m is 1 into x minus x1. So when you solve this, x minus y equals minus 3. This is your line L2. Now you know L1 and L2. He is asking us which of the following is definitely false. Let's go by the options. The distance between the x-intercepts of the two lines is 4. Let's check. So here what is the x-intercept? For this, x-intercept is obtained by putting y equal to 0 is 1, and y-intercept is obtained by putting x equal to 0 is minus 2. Here what is x-intercept? Minus 3, and y-intercept is 3. The distance between the x-intercepts of the two lines is 4. Is it so? Here the x-intercept is 1, here it is minus 3. So distance between them is 1 minus of minus 3. You understand this? It is not 1 plus minus 3. Distance is always, distance between 2 points A and B is what? A minus B, mod. So 1 minus of minus 3 will be 4, which is correct. So it is not false. Not my answer. The distance from the origin to one of the lines is 3 by root 2. So distance from the origin is given for ax plus by plus c equal to 0, this line. Distance from the origin is nothing but mod c by root over a square plus b square. So for this line, what will be distance from the origin? It's going to be 2 by root over 2 square plus 1 square is 5, root 5. This is going to be 3 by root 2. The distance from the origin to one of the lines is 3 by root 2. Yes, that's also correct. Not my answer. Distance from the origin to one of the lines is 2 by root 5. Yes, that's also correct. Not my answer. The line L1, this line, passes through 1, 0. Is it true? Yes, you can substitute and check. This is also true. Not my answer. And hence E should be the correct answer, which is distance between the y-intercept is 6. Y-intercept is 3 here, minus 2 there. So 3 minus of minus 2 will be 5, not 6. So So this is definitely false, and hence my answer. So this is how we could answer the questions here in XAT, right? Fifteenth one. A farmer has a quadrilateral parcel of land with a perimeter of 700. Two opposite angles of 700 feet, sorry. He says feet, so let's write feet. Two opposite angles of that parcel of land are right angles, while the remaining two are not right angles. So something like this. This is right angle. Suppose this is also right angle. So these two are right angles, and these two are not right angles. The farmer wants to do organic farming on that parcel of land. And by the way, before we continue, this quadrilateral that we are talking about, because opposite angles are supplementary, it's a cyclic quadrilateral. So we can draw a circle passing through the four vertices. The farmer wants to do organic farming on that parcel of land. The cost of organic farming is 400 per square foot. Consider the following piece of information. The length of one of the sides of that parcel of land is 110. So either this or this or this or this, one of the sides. The distance between the two corners points where the non-perpendicular sides, so non-perpendicular would mean this two and these two, is 255. So basically he is giving us one of the diagonals. To determine the amount of money the farmer needs to spend to do organic farming on the entire parcel of land, which of the above additional piece of information is/are minimally sufficient? This is a data sufficiency question. Option choice A, it says amount cannot be determined even with the additional piece of information, 1 and 2 together, either 1 or 2 by itself, 2 only and 1 only. Let's check. So if you take the first, see basically for finding out the cost, you need to find the area of this parcel of land. You need to find the area of this land. It's a cyclic quadrilateral, so you can use the formula of, if you know the four sides, root over s minus a into s minus b into s minus c into s minus d, where s is a semi-perimeter and ABCD are the four sides. From statement 1, length of one of the sides is given to us. So suppose this is 110 feet, but we have no clue about the other three, and there is no way we can find it out. We can only know perimeter, so we can find out some of these three sides. There is no way we can find out their values. Okay, so statement 1 alone is definitely not sufficient. Let's look at statement 2 alone. So if you look at statement 2 alone, the distance in the two corner points, these two, is 255. So this is given to be as 255. From one of the diagonals, without knowing the sides and just knowing the perimeter, there is no way you can find out the four sides again. So this statement also individually, I say, is not sufficient. Now let's try to combine them. Now if you combine, one of the sides is 110, I said this was 110. Now if you use these two statements together, please notice what will happen without getting into those detailed calculations. If this is 110, can we not find this out? By Pythagoras theorem we can do that. I am just putting a tick to indicate that yes, we can find out. No need to find it. This is a data sufficiency question. We can find this. We need two more sides. Let's say these are x and y. So we have one condition for x and y, which is x plus y plus 110 plus this tick mark, whatever the value is equal to 700. So from this you will get the value of x plus y equal to something. First equation, something. Right. We don't know what the value is. Let's say some fixed value will get here, right? Because this tick mark is known, so this point inside the circle will also be known. So x plus y will be known. Now next, we also have one more condition, x square plus y square using this right angle triangle is 255 square. Now tell me one thing, without actually doing the solving part, if you have two equations and two unknowns, where the unknowns are the length of the sides, can we not find them? So here also, if you just try to solve it, you will get some value. Suppose I'm just taking random values. Suppose you get 180 here. So if this is 180, 180, 700 minus 290 will be what? 410, approx 410, approximately 410. So if you have two equations like this, we can definitely find out the value of x and y. And once you know x and y, we can make use of this formula and find the area. Once you know the area, I know the cost per square foot. I can multiply the two and get my answer. So that means by using both these statements together, not individually, we can answer our question. So which option choice is that? 1 and 2 together, second option choice will be the correct answer. Either 1 or 2, it's not sufficient, only 2, only 1, no, none of this. We'll have to go for both 1 and 2. Alright. 16th one. An industrial robot manufacturing company is tasked to design humanoid robots to be used in warehouses where the robots need to pick items from a stack of shelves. The height of the topmost shelf from the ground is 7 feet. Suppose this is the ground. This is the topmost shelf. This is 7 feet. To operate, the robot has to move on a track running parallel to the stack of shelves. So suppose this is how it's stacked, the shelf. The robots will be running parallel to it. Yes. On a track, right, the track is fixed 1 foot away from the base of the stack of shelves. So from here, the track is suppose here, 1 foot away. So robot can stand here. Further, the robot cannot raise its arm by more than 60 degrees from the horizontal plane. So for example, suppose the robot is standing like this. This is the robot, some height h. So here there are arms. Okay, of course, this would not be the height of the robot entirely, right? So suppose let's read it further because arms would be somewhere around the shoulder, right? If the robot's arm are attached to its shoulder, what should be the minimum height of the robot from the ground to the shoulder? Okay, so let's suppose this is the shoulder height, alright, shoulder height is h and arms are attached here, and arm should be in such a way that it should be able to reach the topmost shelf, right, the topmost shelf. Now the question is, what is the minimum height of the robot? Now if you want the height of the robot to be minimum possible, can I say the stretch of the arms should be maximum possible, and that is given to be as not more than 60 degree. So that means here this should be 60 degree maximum possible. The stretch of the arm, the angle that the arm can be raised to 60 degree. Now we know this is 1. This is 1, this is 1. Now if this is 60 degree, by using basic trigonometry, can we say if this is 60, this is going to be root 3 because tan 60 value is root 3, right? So if this is root 3, how much will be this height here? Overall it was 7 and this part is root 3 would mean height of the robot should be 7 minus root 3. So what is the minimum height? So I'll say option choice A will be the correct answer. 7 minus root 3 should be the height of the robot. 7 minus root 3 feet. Alright. So these were the quant questions that we had from the XAT paper, right? Subsequent to this, we'll be taking up the DI paper also. But for now, let me end the session here. Thank you and all the very best.